recent statistics, each year there are about 70,000 divorces that take place in Canada. Today's show will help you get through the separation and divorce process quicker if you find yourself needing to pull the plug on your relationship. Joining us today on In the Know is family law lawyer Andrew Feldstein, managing partner of Feldstein Family Law Group. For close to 20 years, Andrew has been in the business of helping people get on with their lives. His firm's headquarters are located in Markham. Welcome to the show, Andrew.
And thank you for having me.
Very warm welcome. You've been on the show before, so welcome back.
Thank you.
We have a jam-packed one-hour show. I know we're going to review a lot. If you just want to give viewers a sense of what we will be discussing tonight.
Well, just touching on the highlights of what we're going to talk about. Some myths of family law, some celebrity divorce issues, social media and family law, and how to pick a family law lawyer.
Okay. I mean, it's no question that separation and divorce is a hard thing to go through for anybody, for any family or couple. So the first step is choosing the right lawyer. How do individuals go about doing that?
Well, I think for people, they need to be educated before they hire a lawyer. And the first step of getting educated is trying to read up about the lawyer you're considering to hire. Go on the firm website. Most firms now have good quality websites, and you can learn a lot of information. Once you've done that, decide who you want to meet with and interview them. Some firms will offer free consultations, others won't, but you need to go in, meet with the lawyer, get a feel if you think they know what they're talking about, and remember, if something is too good to be true, it probably is. So if their fees are really low and they're promising you a great price, it probably isn't going to end up that way. Or if they're promising you a result that you want to hear, it's probably not the way it's going to end up. I believe it's important to tell people what will be a realistic outcome. I can tell when someone's in my office what they want to hear, but I'm not telling them what they want to hear. I'm going to tell them what they need to hear.
I mean, it is a very emotional time for a lot of, couples and individuals when they are going through separation and divorce. So what kind of questions should people be prepared with when talking to, yourself?
Well, we will usually tell people what information we want them to bring in for that meeting, for the first meeting. Obviously, some of it you're going to know. You've lived it. You're going to know your kids' birthdays, usually. You're going to know the day you're married most of the time and the date that you may or may not have been separated. You're going to know your birthdays and background information. The stuff that we need you to bring in, we need to understand what's your income, what's your spouse's income, what are your assets, what are your spouse's assets, liabilities, what you had on the date of marriage. If you have that information, bring it with you because it will help us understand the context of your case. And we certainly don't expect you to have everything because you're not going to have everything. And you may not even have much about your spouse. But more information, the better.
So you've been in this field for quite some time, close to 20 years. Your headquarters are located here in New York region. What makes your firm different than other law firms out there, Andrew?
Well, to begin with, we're the largest practice that does exclusively family law. We're currently a firm of 12 lawyers, and all we do every day, all day, is the practice of family law. The advantage of that is we have more lawyers that we can run ideas off of in terms of difficult cases and strategize on cases when necessary. If there's an emergency that happens, and as an example, if I'm not available, I could be out of the country, I could be on another matter, there's always another lawyer that can pitch in and help out. So if, for example, a client phones the office and says, my husband's at the airport or my wife is at the airport and they want to take the child out of the country, I need you to do something. Even if I'm out of the country, there's another lawyer there who could go to court and get an order preventing that.
Okay. We will definitely be talking more in detail about if children are involved, if children are in the family, and what happens, when you're going through a separation or divorce. So, I mean, you've been in this field for a long time, like I said before. You've seen it all. What is the number one thing you tell couples to be prepared for when they do seek out a lawyer in this separation divorce process? Well,
the challenge is you never know which case is going to be high conflict or not high conflict. But at the first meeting, we try to get an understanding of the case, and we want to try and get a good result, and a good result includes trying to keep conflict at a minimum, because it is very easy at this stage for conflict to be inflamed and for people to want to go to war. And you have to remember the big picture. The big picture is that you may, especially if you have children, even after the divorce, you're going to be co-parenting your children for a long time to come. And in addition to that, even after they're not children anymore, there's a lot of literature on the fact that the worst thing for adult children, the thing that stresses them out most, is when they have significant milestone events in their life. So you can have a 28-year-old child who's a child of divorce who's getting married. And on the date of their marriage should be a happy day, and instead they're stressed about how are mom and dad going to get along today.
Right.
And we try to keep in mind that sometime down the future, we're hopeful that that child won't have a horrible day on that day. And that's by reducing conflict.
So speaking about conflict, in the media and with celebrities, conflict is just plastered over, magazine covers when it comes to celebrities separating or getting divorced. So you brought some examples here because, you see it all the time. Something like this, typical celebrity magazine.
Well, the difference between celebrities and average people is you start with their pocketbooks. They have very large pocketbooks. And regrettably, if you want to have a high conflict case that's going to be full of litigation, it's very, very costly.
Yeah.
Celebrities can afford to do that.
Yep.
Celebrities can fight about 2 hours on a pickup or drop-off that a regular person isn't going to want to do. So their stuff is also salacious. People are interested in it. But for the everyday person who's going through it, in some cases there is no choice. You have to have a high conflict case. What does a dad do when the mother won't let him see the child, or vice versa? They're going to have to fight.
And I know you also write about celebrity divorces on a blog, and we have that up here now on the graphic system. What do you discuss on this blog?
Every week we write a blog about a celebrity divorce case or custody dispute, and we talk about it, and we put it into the context of what would happen if that case was here in Ontario and how we think it would apply to Ontario law.
Right.
So it gives it a little bit of fun for our readers to get an understanding of how real-life cases could apply to them.
And it's a really helpful system or tool that way, because people are just so engrossed by the celebrity, gossip and what's happening in all the celebrities' personal lives, right? So do you get a lot of feedback from the blog and people calling in and, inquiring about what you've written?
Well, I've had a lot of people tell me that they read the blog every week, that blog and my other blog that's on my website, separation.ca, in order to keep up to date with what's happening in family law. In fact, I know some of the law schools use it as a reference tool for their students in family law, and I've actually heard other law firms use it as their first tool for legal research. So it's flattering that other people are using it that way, but we've worked hard on it for a number of years now.
And separation and divorce, you've seen it all. Why is it so difficult to get things resolved?
Well, to begin with, you have a situation where it's almost like mourning the loss of a very close person. And when people are going through a divorce, frequently there are different stages of mourning the loss of the relationship. So in a situation where one person makes that decision to terminate the relationship, they may have gotten over the breakdown of that marriage 2, 3, 4 years ago because they fell out of love with that person. The other person who just hears it...
I'm going to ask you to hold your thought, Andrew, because we have to throw to a commercial break. But when we come back, more on separation and divorce. Stay tuned.